Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work on this problem. Example 3. Matthew wants to buy audio equipment at a store that has 20% off the original price sale. There is also a 7% sales tax. Each of the items' original price X is shown in the table below. So A, we're going to find the discounted price of each item and the total cost if he buys all of the items during the sale. B, we're going to find the total cost if he does not purchase them during the sale. And C, how much does he save if he purchases them during the sale? We're going to input 3 equations into our graphing calculator. One of our equations is going to be y sub 1 is equal to 0.80x. And we don't have to write 0.80, we could write 0.8x. I just want to make sure that this is clear. This is 80% of the original price that we're going to have to end up paying. Since there is a 20% off sale, then 20% of the price is being taken off, and we have to pay 80% of the price. Our second equation, y sub 2, is going to be 0.07, which is the 7% sales tax, times the 80% of the price that we're going to have to pay. And our third equation is going to be basically y sub 1 plus y sub 2. We're adding the sales tax to the discounted price that we're paying, and that's going to give us the total discounted cost of the item. Okay, so we've got our 3 equations. We are ready to input these 3 equations into our graphing calculator. So right now is a good time to start getting your graphing calculators out, and we're going to start setting that up. Okay, so I'm just going to write here, input these equations into the graphing calculator. Alright, here's our graphing calculator. So I'm going to be using TI-84 Plus C Silver Edition. Before I input the equations, I want to make sure that the table set is alright. So I'm going to leave this table start at 0 and the increment for each one of these values to go up by 1. That doesn't really matter. What matters is the independent variable. Instead of being auto, we're going to put it as ask. So it's going to prompt us to put in those x values that we want from our table. So y sub 1, we're going to put in our first equation. I'm going to just go ahead and put in 0.8x, which is the same thing as 0.80x. We don't have to put that last 0. Our second equation, our y sub 2, I'm going to multiply 0.07, which represents the 7% sales tax, times 0.8x, the discounted cost of the item. And y sub 3, I'm going to have to put in the y sub 1 plus the y sub 2, so I'm going to go to vars, V-A-R-S. I'm going to scroll over to the y vars, and I'm going to press in that 1 for function. I'm going to choose that first option, y sub 1, and now I'm going to put the plus sign to add it to my second function that I have there, my y sub 2. So once again, we go to vars, V-A-R-S button, and then we're going to scroll over to the y vars, press the 1 for function, and then press the 2 for y sub 2. And there is our y sub 3 equation. We have all of our 3 equations in, and we are going to now go to our table. So second graph, but we actually want that table function, and we're going to have to put in the x values. So the x value for the first one is 199.95, and you see how all my y sub 1, y sub 2, y sub 3 values just automatically pop up. Now I'm going to put in the second x value there, 249.95, and once again my other values just automatically pop up. And the next one is 149.99, And the last value for our X is going to be 499 I believe it was 50. Yes. But it just comes up as 0.5, and that's fine. We don't have to put in that last zero. Okay, let's zoom into these values so we can see exactly what values we're going to have to put into our table. So we've got those were the X values that were given to us in the table. We're going to fill in with our table the y sub 1, the y sub 2, and the y sub 3 values. So I'm going to go now back to our worksheet, to our handout, and I'm going to fill in those values in our table. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and jot these values down. These are the values for the discounted price of the items. I'm going to do these in blue so that you know that these all represent the discounted price. Okay, now we're going to go over to the tax. I'm going to do these in a different color so you understand these all represent the tax based off of the discounted price. So I'm just going to put in all the values that the graphing calculator gave me. You could round these values off to the nearest cent if they are asking you to answer this question, you know, to provide this value as part of your answer. But this particular problem was not actually asking specifically for that one value of the tax. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in all the values from the graphing calculator in there. And now our last column is the total discounted cost. So that's adding the tax with the discounted price. I am going to make sure that these are rounded to the nearest cent because this is the answer to question A. It said find the discounted price of each item and the total cost if he buys all the items during the sale. So I'm going to make sure that these are all rounded to the nearest cent. Alright, now we also need to find the totals. It did ask here for part A the total cost if he buys all the items during the sale. It also for part B said find the total cost if he does not purchase them during the sale. So we're going to have to add up all of those values to come up with that grand total. Let's start off with the ones that did not have the discount, the original price column. So let me go ahead and take out my calculator. I'm just going to quickly add those up. So the 199.95 plus the 249.95 plus the 149.99 plus the 499.50 comes out to a grand total of $1,099.39. So that would have been the price. That's the answer for part B, the total cost if you did not purchase them on sale. Well, actually it's not the total cost because it's still missing the tax. I'm still going to have to find the tax on that amount. Alright, but before I do that, let me go ahead and find the total of the discounted items, the column in red. So if I add 171.16 plus 213.96, 128.39 plus 427.57, I get $941.08. Okay, so now to answer that part B, find the total cost if you did not purchase them during the sale, I'm going to have to find the tax on the original price items. Alright, so we're going to have to multiply the 7% sales tax with the total cost of the items if we had not purchased them at a discount. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the 1,099.39, and I'm going to multiply that with 0.07, which represents the 7% sales tax, and that's going to give me just the sales tax of those items. It comes out to $76.96. Now I'm going to add that amount to the original price, the total for that column. So that's going to give me 1,099.39 plus 76.96 for a grand total of $1,176.35. Alright, so now that we have that total, we're ready to find out how much he saved if he purchased these items on sale. We're going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract the $941.08 from the $1,176.35. So it looks like he ends up saving $235.27, and we want to make sure that you always round here to the nearest cent if you haven't already rounded to the nearest cent. Alright, let's go ahead and answer these questions in a nice sentence format. It's always nice to answer your question using a sentence. So I'm going to go ahead and write here the answer for part A. Find the discounted price of each item. We already have it written right here in the column. And the total cost if he buys all the items during the sale, let me just go ahead and write that out. Total cost if he buys all the items during the sale is $941.08. So that would have been the answer for part A. And I'm going to go ahead and put dollar signs on each one of these amounts since it is part of the answer, so I know that I'm labeling my units. Alright, let's go to part B. Find the total cost if he does not purchase them during the sale. Let's go ahead and write that down. Okay, part B, the total cost if he does not purchase them total cost if he does not purchase them during the sale is it's the $1,176.35. And the last part of this problem, the last question, is part C. How much does he save if he purchases them during the sale? We're going to have to remember we subtracted those amounts. So here is the amount he saves. It's the $235.27. So he saves $235.27. Okay, that's it. We're done with the problem. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. You can watch that over again if you need to. All right, bye-bye.